This sport is not for the faint of heart. Today, the doctors are going to introduce you to someone. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a daughter, sister, friend, competitor, and very inspirational. So stay tuned. We have a power packed show for you today. I'm Dr. Tamika, and I am alongside Dr. April and Dr. Whitney. Hello, doctors. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
How are you?
Hope it's been a great Sunday for you guys.
Yes.
It's been a great Sunday. Been looking forward to this show. You guys know I love moving and being physical and moving around, working out, training, being training. So today's show, of course, this guest has gone all the way. I say all the way to the top. So, but when you do things like this, like the magnitude of this, mentally, emotionally, and physically,
Yeah.
it take a toll. I've done some things when I was younger. You guys tell me some stories. Times when you competed or you had some opportunities to get out there and do something that you felt like may have been mentally above you, like when I was a cheerleader. But I don't know, Dr. April.
I think for me, the most challenging thing probably is these graduate and doctoral degrees.
That part.
Absolutely.
Yes. I think we all can attest to that, because it takes a level of discipline and a level of time management to be able to, to put in to get it done. And that can be, a huge mental impact, especially when you have life. You still have to work, you still have kids, like different these things that are in play as well. So I was
that's an awesome example. Dr. Whitney.
Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely my example. I wouldn't say I've been in any physical competitions or anything like that. That's not my zhuzh right there. But this doctoral program, just that level of education, definitely faced with a lot of challenges. For me personally, another aspect, aside from what Dr. April was saying, is me. I attended a predominantly white institution, and there's just a lot of challenges, as a Black woman that I faced in just having to make myself stand apart, make myself be noticed, kind of having to go above and beyond, do more than my counterpart. So there was a lot of mental challenges, and it takes a lot of mental strength.
All right, so you guys know I tell you all the time. My story was middle school, just making cheerleader. It was big for me, and I had to prepare a lot. And older sisters, they helped me. And so once I conquered that, I felt like after that, I could conquer anything. Mentally, it was drooling though. And so as we move forward and we move into the interview with Felicia Cox, who has recently become IFBB Pro, she's a bodybuilding competitor, just being able to see and hear and talk about some of the things that she went through when she won. So you can see here an amazing physique, what it takes to get there. A lot. I don't know. But if you guys are ready, I'm ready. She's here. Hello and congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the chamber. We're excited to have you. We are just going to go ahead and dive right in because we want to hear about your journey.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Tula. Thank you so much, Dr. April, Dr. Whitney. You ladies are beautiful and inspiring in itself. And I just really appreciate you, just allowing me to share my story with you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, tell us about your journey and how did you, come to be in this type of competition?
Okay, so my journey started back in 2004 when really bodybuilding has been around for a long time, but figure bodybuilding is when it really started coming around for women where we really didn't have to be so big and muscular. And I ended up meeting one of my favorite coaches. His name is Derry Mallard. He was my very first coach back in 2004. And he was like, hey, have you ever thought about competing? I'm like, no, I don't want to look like that. I don't want, like most women look, I don't want to be big and bulky. And he was like, no, there's a new division out. You should try it. And we trained for it and I competed for it. And that was back in 2004.
Wow.
Wow. Well, this is definitely not easy. I mean, this is not an easy sport. So, I mean, it takes a lot of discipline. How do
Yeah.
you prepare? What does it take to prepare for a competition such as this?
Well, it's definitely mindset. That's where it starts. Number one, a lot of people want to lose weight. A lot of people want to get in shape, but you really have to shape your mindset first before you can tackle anything. Just like you ladies said, just being in your doctoral, getting your degree, that's mindset. You guys have the mindset, the commitment, the discipline, the time management, the consistency to stick with it. And that's how it is with bodybuilding. You just have to develop that mindset. Once you develop the mindset, the discipline, the consistency, all of that comes with that.
Okay. So we say all the time, okay, we talked about mindset, but it does, like you said, it comes with so much discipline. When I am not being physically fit, or if I'm having a bad day, if I go move, if I go riding my bike, because I love to ride my bike in the neighborhood, then it helps me mentally. This has been a pick me up for you, if I'm understanding right. You've had some bouts with anxiety or depression in the past, like all the rest of us. But what
Yes.
does this do for you?
Oh my God. I don't know if you guys know my story, but back in 2016, I had a hysterectomy. And like most women do, we had the fibroid tumors, the cysts, and all that. So I'm like, hey, let's go get a hysterectomy because that's what the doctor told me I needed at the time. And I had just finished competing a bodybuilding show, and I'm like, you know what? I can't get this stomach flat until I get these fibroids out. Well, in the meantime, the doctor accidentally cut my bladder. And when she did that, y'all, she literally ripped the carpet from underneath me. From, anytime a major organ has been punctured, damaged, cut, it just really takes the life out of you. And so when I went through the multiple surgeries and the recovery, I developed anxiety. I didn't even know what anxiety was. I did not know what a panic attack was when I was having it. I had depression so bad. So in order for me to come up out of that, I had to ask God, I need your help. I took my little happy pill, because that's what they say I needed. But for me, I didn't want to get addicted to anything like that. So mentally, for me, I had to choose a bodybuilding show to get me out of that dark hole. And when I tell y'all, it was very, very challenging. But, God was like, hey, you can do this. You will do this. And you're just going to take it one day at a time. And that's what I did. And when I tell you, I couldn't even pick up this cell phone right here. That's how weak I was. But, I just kept fighting. I just kept fighting and I kept saying, hey, I got to get to the finish line. And I trained for 8 months. This is before I went pro. I trained for 8 months after I had all that, those surgeries and recoveries and things like that. And I went and won first place. And so I knew then that, hey, let's take it to the next level. Let's go to the top. And that's exactly what I did. I sought out a coach. Her name is Dee Jackson. Hey, Dee, if you're watching, she's amazing. I also have an amazing training partner. His name is Sam. And I also took up boxing. Boxing is a very good conditioning, endurance type sport to get you where you need to go. And I did that and I trained for another, 8 months and went to nationals in Pittsburgh, had never gone in my life. And I, competed in 4 divisions and I went pro in all 4 divisions for first
I
place in
know.
all 4 divisions.
Four-time IFBB pro.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I love this. Therapist, let's talk. So she went through a lot, but there are other people out there. They may not be able to get into bodybuilding, but what are some other things that they can do to actually dive into something that can help them mentally? Dr. April.
I would say first tapping into what are your talents. That's the main thing. Looking to see what it is that you enjoy, be it singing, crafting, painting, the arts. Tapping into that and just really starting to enjoy your hobbies. A lot of people don't make time for those things, but that's important.
Dr.
Absolutely.
Whitney.
Absolutely, I agree. I always try to tell clients you want to build up a list, like a list of coping of coping skills, a list of ways that you can manage your mental health and improve it. And it starts with your talents or what your interests are. I always tell people, what are your interests? What are you interested in? People get so caught up in work, just day-to-day life, and they don't really identify that, early on in their lives until they come into a situation where they really need it. So starting with what are your interests and figuring out, what are not even just interests, but also what are things that make you feel good generally,
Mhm.
you know.
Because depression is so real, and some people they talk about it. I always say, be about it. Get moving. For me, it's moving. It's jumping, running hills. I know everybody, they're not into that or it doesn't interest them, but actually doing something. So,
Mhm.
Felicia, as we move forward, you have so many businesses. You stay busy. So, for some people, it may not be, going to the gym, but for you, you not only indulge in the fitness arena, but you also do a lot of things that's centered around it. There are some products that you actually are pushing as well.
Yes, absolutely. When I was going through my recovery, as far as being sick and going through the depression and talking with God, he just started. It was like he was building something inside of me, and I had no clue what he was stirring up inside of me. And so after I went through the recovery sessions, he was just putting ideas in my head. Okay, you have your meal prep business, but guess what, you're going to take it to the next level. You're going to open up another business, which I do, is a body contouring business where I melt body fat cells. Also, I have a cream. I'm partnered with a Black-owned company. It's called Get Wasted and Fabulous, and I sell body cream. I sell detox juice. Anything. I'm a nutritionist as well, so I have nutrition plans. I'm getting ready to start personal training virtually, so I'm getting ready to work on a personal training app where all you have to do is just click on the app, and everything is in line for you. So it was just so many things that I had no idea that was going to be birthed during that depression, during that anxiety. And I'm glad that I had the strength to come up out of that.
Well, we say you're a winner. We appreciate you joining us. We love it. So if you're out there, contact Felicia. She could give you some advice. If it's not bodybuilding, then whatever it is that you desire. So we definitely appreciate you stopping by the chamber. Of course, we're all things mental health. If I don't get out and do something, I am just absolutely at a loss. So I have to move. But I just thought your story was so inspirational. I know some of your personal journeys, and I know you've had some things to impact you mentally, especially after that surgery. So look at you now. So look at you. I applaud you and those other
Man.
ladies that are able to get out there and actually go through a competition like this. It's something so major, and we appreciate you. And we again congratulate you and thank you so much for stopping by.
And thank you so much, ladies, for having me. And thank you so much for allowing me to share my story, because I know it's going to help somebody today. Thank
It
you.
definitely will. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All righty. So Felicia's left. So doctors, again, great story. We have some more great stories coming up. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that competing in that arena?
Wow. I
It
mean,
takes
it definitely takes a lot.
yeah,
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, tenacity to be
yeah,
able to continue to do that. And a lot of different changes that, you see the transformation in the body. So that's the whole mental stress right there.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
know.
yes, and I'm sure it comes with mental stress, and then it's probably it's the motivator too. Like when you start seeing that transformation, because it takes a lot of motivation to stick with something as strenuous. I know
I
her eating, her workouts,
Yeah.
all of that had to be so regimented, and you have to be really motivated.
know, and I love to eat. So, on the weekends, I eat whatever I want to eat. During the week, I try to stick to a healthy regimen, but yeah, weekends are free for all. So I loved it. I loved her story, and I loved how she went from, that journey, how at one point there was a dip, and
Yeah.
then she came back up mentally, and then she won. So I think that speaks volumes to a lot of people that are out there. It speaks volumes to me. So I definitely enjoyed her story. Before we go, though, to our affirmation and close the show. Coming up, the mental impact of wearing your natural hair in today's time. Tashara Parker will be here. She'll be coming up later this month. She's from WFAA. And so she is what I call a spokesperson for this arena. And we definitely have had some issues dealing with our hair and going from chemicals a lot nowadays to going to the natural hair. I haven't had a perm probably in 9 years or so. So I appreciate you doctors for showing up today, and of course being so faithful to this process, this show, and as we move it forward. So again, I appreciate we had Dr. Whitney, Dr. April alongside myself today. We definitely appreciate you. Take it away, Dr. April, with your affirmation before we close the show.
Okay, so the affirmation for today, everyone, is stepping outside of my comfort zone is necessary for my growth.
Stepping outside of my comfort zone, and we have to do that every day. Stepping outside of the comfort zone. Again, all right. Thank you so much for joining the Chamber Talk show today. We'll be back again later this month with another show that centers around your mental health. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.